County and others. By design, this is meant to be a regional event, and so we're so happy to see so many of you here. Bring your friends, bring your family back. I have not seen every masterpiece in the Kinsey Collection, but I can say without fear of contradiction, their greatest masterpiece is Khalil. I am grateful to know him. I almost helped to deliver him, but I can take no credit. But I'm very proud of being called Uncle Wayne, and most importantly, witness how an amalgamation of Bernard and Shirley, with a touch of independence, would carry things forward into new heights together. So much love. Much love. Okay. In my opinion, the Kinsey family, in its quest to shed light on other African Americans, has become the epitome of Black achievement. And so we thank you, and I love you all. And so with that, let me bring up Lam Fasim, chair of the Tacoma Pierce County Black Collective, and he will in turn bring up the incredible Mayor Victoria Williams.
Now, the reason that Wayne said I was going to bring up Victoria because he knows I might get up and forget who I was supposed to be. It is, oh my God, look at that. Hey, Brian. It is wonderful to see so many of the people from the Black Collective, many of whom I haven't seen in 18 months, and my soul just looks back and wonder when I see y'all. There's a reason that we hang together. We've been hanging together for 51 years. We missed one meeting in 51 years. And so the Kinseys. Wayne's known him for 48 years. I've known him for a year and a half. But you know, there's some folks that you don't actually need to know for 48 years to feel good about who they are. Some people you just like. Now, we got something special to talk about here, but if we were just talking about yesterday's news, I would feel good with these three folks. You know, if we were talking about Mumbly Peg, I'd feel good. And so this is a big deal. I'll just, before I bring the mayor up, I just want to say something about Wayne. Now, I was asked to be the chair of the Community Advisory Committee.
Thank you.
I belong to what I call the talkocracy. And I knew if Wayne and David and his crew from the art museum, they belong to the workocracy. But I only accepted the job because I knew the team would pull us through. And so thank you to the Art Museum, the leadership of the team. Thank you to Wayne for all your work. Thank you for all of the people who have come here and dedicated your time and talent to make this a positive engagement. And now, you know, America has got Oprah. The hip hop community has Beyonce. You know, us old school folks have Nina Simone. But in Tacoma, I got the mayor, Mayor Victoria Williams. Come on up.
I don't even know what to say after that introduction. My goodness. Yeah, I just need to breathe on that for a moment. sit on it for just a moment. So I'm gonna let it go for now, and let you all know that I am neither Beyonce nor am I Oprah Winfrey, and who was or Nina Simone. I'm just Victoria from this little town called Tacoma, Washington, who grew up here. And what an awesome day it is in the city. As I look out, oh wait, before I do anything else, politicians must do, there's one job we always have. I'd like to take this moment to recognize Councilmember Ryan Mello, who has joined us in the room. Ryan, thank you so much for being here. I think he's the only other elected official in the room, unless I'm missing someone. Okay, you always got to recognize your other elected officials. Not to mention, not only is Ryan an elected official, Ryan is one of my very closest and dearest friends, and I'm so glad that you made it this afternoon, Ryan. You are in for a treat. I am in the Lyle category as far as my time knowing the Kinseys, but actually I have less time than you. I guess I started meeting the Kinseys when I got on the call for the community group, but I just met the Kinseys in person on Thursday morning. And what Lyle said is absolutely true. You don't have to know them forever to know that you love them. So let me just say, I love this thing.
Yes.
As soon as I met them, I wanted Shirley to be my auntie. So they don't know this yet, because y'all in Tacoma know I will adopt family in a heartbeat. So I just want y'all to know you have a new niece, Khalil, you got a new cousin. And it's just family because that's just who they are.
Yes.
That's just how they behave, in church. It is Sunday. I didn't make it into the house this morning. But in church we talk about walking the talk. Because a whole lot of people will tell you a whole lot of stuff, and when you see them live it out, it doesn't look like anything that came out of their mouth. Let me tell you all, what we have today in front of us in these three people are people who have lived their whole lives walking the talk, and today is absolutely no different. And we are so blessed, so absolutely blessed, not just by your collection, because when you all get to see it, you will know what I'm talking about, but we're blessed by your presence. You could have sent the collection here and stayed at home, but you came with the collection, and the greatest gift to us is the three
Yes.
of you.
Yes.
Now, I too would be wrong if I didn't say a word about Wayne Williams. So first, let me say to Bernard, thank you. Bernard is the reason that Wayne Williams lives in Tacoma. And we should say thank you to Bernard for that, for sending us Wayne Williams. Wayne Williams has made you absolutely proud in Tacoma. He is a man who works without any acknowledgement, doesn't want a pat on the back, doesn't even like to hear his name called in public, but really is someone who really deserves a whole lot of credit for some great things that have happened in Tacoma. As a library board trustee, as the chairperson, working on Elizabeth Wesley Awards, as a former board member at the Urban League. I mean, this man does a lot, and I think people meet him and don't even know how much he's done. But we now know where he came from and how he got here. And so now we were already into you with a whole bunch of debt when you brought the collection here, and then when you came, now we gotta pay you back for giving us Wayne too. So consider that debt to be paid in heaven, because we'll never be able to pay it. But seriously, I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here. I do want to thank David Setforth and the entire team here at TAM, who have done an amazing job. I've been working with this museum for a very long time, and working to make sure that this wonderful, incredible building, from the day it was built wasn't just a place downtown for some people. That it wasn't just a place for some people, but that it was a place for everyone. That you could come to this museum and see all kinds of art. But what was missing is that we didn't have all kinds of art that told our story in the way that the Kinsey Collection does. We hear too much the negative things that have happened to African Americans in this community. We hear too much about the negativity. And during Black History Month, as I said earlier when we were taping the video, during Black History Month, we get to hear about some of the inventions of Black people or some of the things that Black people have done. But it's not something we talk about, and they're not even stories that we all know. What you all are going to hear today and learn today from these people is the greatness of Black people. The incredible talent of Black people told in a way that doesn't negate where we came from or what we've been through, but that shines a light on who we are as a people and what we've contributed to this country. Bernard, you said something today that I will never forget, and I say it to myself every Tuesday when I stand up there and I say the Pledge of Allegiance. And 2 years ago, when we got a new council member, the first time we said the Pledge of Allegiance, he didn't put his hand, he didn't stand up and say. He just sat there, and I said, afterwards I said, well, why don't you say it? He goes, because I don't believe it. He says, how do you say it? I say, because every time I put my hand over my heart and I say those words, I hope that one day they will be true. And what you said today, when you said, Black folks have always believed in America. But America just has not yet believed in us the way that it should. And what you said just reminded me that this Tuesday, when we sit on that Zoom call, when I put my hand over my heart and I say those words, I still have to believe that one day this will be a country with liberty and justice for all. I hope that's what we'll all continue to do. That we will find the strength not to just remember the bad, but to think about the greatness in us and the greatness that we possess as people. And those who have gone before, so that we have this opportunity today. And I hope that you all, after today, after you all get to see the collection, and we know that an hour is not going to be very much time to see the collection. So lucky for all of you in the room, that when you get ready to go out and tour the museum, you're all going to get a free pass to come back, so that you can spend time in the exhibit. What I'm going to challenge you to do is to take that free pass that you get to come back and bring someone with you, because the exhibit doesn't go away when the Kinseys leave on Monday. This exhibit is here till December. And we owe it not only to the Kinseys, but we owe it to our families, to our community, to our children, to take them through that exhibit. So I hope, David, not only will just this past Friday night be the most people that you've had, but I pray that this exhibition will be the highest attended exhibition in the history of the Tacoma Art Museum. Come to hear me talk. So I'm going to be quiet, play my role of Oprah at some point, and I'm going to turn it over to the Kinseys, and we're going to allow them to talk just a little bit, and then I'm going to open it up to you for questions. One rule. It's a question. We don't need, I love you all, and you can tell those stories about your grandmothers and aunties and great-grandmamas later. But if you got a question, we'll take your question so that we can let the Kinseys answer those questions.
I just want to give you a hug.
Y'all know I'm the hugging bear.
Well, we can do it a couple ways. First of all, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you. We were talking today. I sent her a note the other day and I said, can we get the trees cut outside so people can see the Kinsey Collection sign? Because that's the kind of guy I am. You know, the Today Show spent all day Friday shooting the Kinsey Collection. And the reason I'm talking about this tree because they shot it up on the little ridge there and the sight lines. So Harris Smith said, "Boy, I'd like to cut that tree." I said, "I'm gonna call the mayor." And, you know, so we're working on that. But that gives you an idea of really how we approach things. This is our 33rd city around the world. 15 million people, translated into Spanish, Chinese, and this is what we do. We have the blessing of having Larry Earl, who I don't know if Larry is in the room, but Larry, let everybody see.
One time.
All right. Who is was a friend. Well, I knew Monique before Larry. You understand? The best thing he ever done. You understand? So, but he's a tremendous historian. And has been integral to working with Khalil, particularly on putting this. And let me just say this. Bernard Kinsey had nothing to do with this show. Khalil, Larry, and Taylor did everything. This is the first time in 33 cities has happened. And you know what? It's because my son, I mean, he's just ready. You know, at some point, you know, there's a saying, when the teacher's ready, when the pupil's ready, the teacher will appear. You see, I get a lot of help. When the pupil's ready, the teacher will appear. And that's really how we would work in Xerox. When you're ready for that next job, we'll get you. But you got to demonstrate. And so we've done it. So thanks so much, Lyle. Every time I see him, got new tennis shoes and new hair. So we really
Stay fresh.
Yeah, stay fresh. But how many were at the Myth of Absence lecture? Well, a number of you were here for that. We had this entire room all the way to the back and an overflow crowd out there. So I am confident that we've had a great opening and that this is going to be good. But I'd like to just get some Q&A going.
I just want to say a few words real quick. First off, Mayor Wooders, thank you so very much. It's been a great, great pleasure. I had a great feeling through the screen when we were doing, on the advisory committee calls, and the fact that you were a part and took the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of those advisory board meetings was not lost on me. It was just completely, that just told me everything, And to the Black Collective, I salute you. We salute you to learn about your steadfastness and consistency in what you've been able to maintain, build and maintain and contribute to this community that emanates and, a ripple that becomes a wave is just powerful. Because I talk to, my young brothers about consistency and momentum a lot. It's something that I've come to identify as probably one of the core things that you need in your life to move forward, right? A snowball only grows because it's moving at a pace that attracts more and more. If that snowball stops, it's much harder to get that snowball going again, right? But the more that it rolls, the more that it attracts more particles and more particles. Next thing you know, you have a mass thing. That's what consistency breeds, and that's what momentum does. And that's, I think, what we've been doing. It's been 15 years that this exhibition has been rolling, but it's, You might have heard me say that this weekend. This weekend and this exhibition and this time with y'all is, bar none, for me, the one. I'm talking Smithsonian, I'm talking Disney World, I'm talking about Hong Kong. And not that those ain't been beautiful experiences, because they have been. They've been beautiful. But the energy that I've felt throughout this entire experience has been something that has been rewarding and enriching for me and for us. And I think that shines through in the exhibition that we've been able to put together here and to share with you all and with Tacoma. And what we want you to know is that this is yours. This is your exhibition. This isn't, it says the Kinsey Collection, but it's for all of us. And it's for all of you all to take ownership of, because that's what our history is. That's what our existence is. It's a shared experience. It's something that we have to harness and share with each other and take ownership of, so that we're able to understand it and understand each other and ourselves. And I'm just extremely proud of our partnership here with TAM. I'm extremely proud to have the support and honored. We're honored to have the support of the Black Collective. Yes. Uncle Wayne, I love you. Loud, fresh to death. Man, it's truly a pleasure, and we just can't thank you enough for wrapping your arms and your warm embrace of us and of the exhibition coming here. And it's just great. It's humbling. That's what I'll say. It's humbling. So thank you, and we can open it up. I don't know, Ma, what you want to do.
Wayne and Khalil both said something a little earlier, and Wayne just a little while ago. I just want to clarify the part that Wayne was played and Khalil's birth experience.
Yeah, let's clarify.
He has been sort of a stand-in for Bernard. Bernard, we were living in Anaheim Hills. Bernard got promoted and was working in Oakland, California, and had gone to that day. It was a Monday. Bernard was home all weekend, and we'd gone to the doctor. The doctor said, "You have 2 more weeks," and I said, "Great." And I took Bernard to the airport. Well, before that, Bernard had always said to Wayne, "Now look, if I'm not here in town when Shirley has to go to the hospital, you have to take him," because we lived near each other, and he agreed. Well, that night, I had to go to the hospital. And no Bernard, no Wayne. So what I do? Anyway, my neighbor wanted to take me. But we talked about that a little bit, and Wayne said, "Well, I didn't know where the hospital was." I think he thought that when Bernard said he used to be a stand-in, he was going to have to go in the room and see me. And he would pass out, and he wouldn't have to go do that. Khalil didn't really get to know Wayne until a little while ago, really, years ago. Knew about you know. So that's Uncle Wayne? Yes, that's Uncle Wayne. The other interesting part is that there's a young man here. What's his name?
Omi Wagner.
Umi Wagner, who's with the follow-up shop, right? And when the two of them got together, they found that they had the same Uncle Wayne. And they've known each other, 10 years or so?
Since 2007.
Yes. And had never made that connection or anything. And they got to talking, "That's your Uncle Wayne? That's my Uncle Wayne." The world is so small. We've been having so many experiences while we've been here too, just connections with people. In ways that you never realize are going to come. My new friend Bonnie, and I were talking about some other things. But anyway, this morning she said, "Well, there's a friend of mine that you know who used to cater for you." And I kept thinking, "Who could that be?" Came up with the name. And it's Maddie Dobbs' cousin, Justine, who catered for us years ago. And I said I hadn't seen her in a long time, so it was great to make that connection with you, make that connection when I go back home with her. Having our nieces here has just been fabulous to get to know them and get to meet them and have them know each other. There's 2 right here. I don't know where's Andrea? She's in the room. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to stop now because when I start talking, I talk too long.
On the subject of Omi Wagner and ETC, he's back here with his hand up. One time for Omi. This is a young brother who, was down in LA and doing great things and brought what he learned and his skill set back to Tacoma to add on to what's going on here in Tacoma with the focus on youth empowerment, on building community. And he's enjoyed he and his partners have enjoyed 7 years of success as a clothing brand, a store, but really a hub, a community hub. And I've seen that firsthand. And to be able to build that bridge, between ETC and TAM, and to support, this forward movement is important for us. But what I want y'all to know, Umi, as the Black Collective, I want y'all to know Umi. I want Umi to know y'all. And I know that as we move forward, just like institutions have things, decisions to make when it comes to how to move forward, how to bring, new blood in and youth and everything and new ideas and all of that. These are the young brothers that's moving and shaking out here. Aaron, Black Winds, right here with his hand up. This brother and the sister and their team are doing amazing things in telling the stories, positive stories of Black contributions to Tacoma, Pacific Northwest, the country, and the world, right? You gotta support these young people to be able to build these bridges, keep these bridges steady so that more folks can walk across them. So I just wanted to highlight these young brothers and young sisters because they're powerful, they deserve our support, they deserve, number one, the awareness of what they're doing. There's a lot to be done. And the more that we are aware of each other, the more that we can share our resources, and the more that we can help each other move forward and do some, continue to make great contributions. So I think the charge is on both sides to build these bridges and keep these bridges, because that's how this moves forward. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Keep the mic there. Just to be COVID safe, I'm going to ask you if you have a question just to stand up and talk very loudly. This room can handle voices, I think, very well. So and this is an opportunity, you're going to get to go through the exhibit and you're going to get to hear from one, two, or maybe all three of the Kinseys at the same time in the exhibit. So you can ask questions about the exhibit, you can ask questions about them as a family. The door is open, so any questions, and if not, I have enough questions of my very own, so I can just have a conversation and y'all can listen, but I'd like to answer your questions. So there are any questions anybody has for the family? Oh, yeah, I was just getting go, girl.
So first of all, I have to say I love you. I love you guys. So thank you so much for what you're doing, and I love the breadth of what you're sharing. So my question is, I heard you talk about how art makes the invisible visible, and you talked about history, and you also talked about currently. So what advice would you share with people in corporate America or trying to make changes in corporate America to increase the level of accountability for leaders?
That's a good one. Well, it's the Xerox model, which is the model for building everything. You got to get the definition of a leader is look and see if you have somebody behind you. So if you don't have anybody behind you, then probably you need to get another leader. That's the first thing. But the leadership of getting people to have common interests is where I'm going, Tracy. And getting people that will believe in a common goal around that. And that's what we did in 1971. Quick story, we had less than 2,000 employees with Xerox in 71. In 20 years, we put 14,000 Black folks in Xerox. When I retired in 1991, there were 26 Black vice presidents.
Wow.
And I had been a vice president for 10 years in 1980.
Wow.
For a Fortune 20 company, actually. But what we did was, the first thing we said was that we were not going to compete against each other, when in fact, everything we did was competing. And what we meant was that we were not going to use the Black organization for self-gain, okay? The other thing that we said we would do is always say yes to help. there's a friend of ours, Willis Edwards, he said, do what you can from where you are, from what you have. And it's a great saying. If, you know, Madam C.J. Walker, we got a beautiful piece by her in the thing. She said, I got my way out of nowhere. I mean, I got my way out of nowhere. In other words, yeah, I got my start. So
I got my start by giving myself a start.
you get the point. The idea really is that we have to coalesce together. And then when we coalesce, we need to coalesce across companies. In other words, Xerox Black Employees was the model for the ELC organization, Executive Leadership Council. We founded that in 1987, which is still going on, which tried to do what we did at Xerox. They weren't quite as successful, you know, and moved that out. And you gotta be willing to take some risk, which we all took a lot of risk back in the days. 1980, I brought Farrakhan to speak in a Xerox function, which was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. The president of David Kearns called me and said, Bernard, what in the hell are you doing? And I said, you know what? I think this brother is coming from a good place as it relates to economic empowerment in our community. And that's when Farrakhan was on message about, you know, economics, which is, you know, racism is the predicament, economics is the problem. America is a banquet, and most poor people are starving to death. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. America is a banquet table, and most poor people are starving to death. It's better to be rich and guilty than poor and innocent. You heard what I just said? Sit on that for a little bit, okay? Sit on it. That's what we're talking about. How we elevate in this process and use each other. In other words, if you have an event, I support you. If I have an event, you support me. If we ever break that, then both of our events don't work. And what we do have to do as black folks is support each other.
It's called using social capital.
And that's what Shirley, you know, long time ago, social capital. Using your friends, you know, to make everything you do successful, and then you reciprocate it, and then you keep building and building. And this weekend, we probably had 1,200 to 1,500 people here this weekend. It's all been built because of what